Alright, what's going on, guys? We're here back for Season 8, Week 5 of GPC. Interesting stuff. I might actually get this video out on time this week, so it's going to be pretty funny now. We're going up against Carson right here, Golden Centurion. My man actually has a very interesting draft. It's Mono gets destroyed by Crocodile with ground resist Decidueye. So, really interesting stuff right there. I'm definitely looking to just be putting myself in a situation to click Scarf Earthquake. We also have Superpower, because that's going to be able to OHKO Greninja, which is one of the only kind of potentially fast things anyways, so really looking to have an interesting game right here. We're brought a much more offensive team than I usually bring. We've got offensive Manaphy, offensive Entei, offensive everything. I'll probably get into the sets later. The only thing that's kind of dead weight on the team is Mega Abomasnow, but I mean, that's what you get when you run teams like this against stuff like that. All these, at the very least, I'm forcing all these water types to run HP Fire, so it's kind of cool. At the very least, though, like, if I wasn't going to bring a Bombstow, I would have brought something else really passive. So at the very least, a Bombstow is going to give me a max attack plus attack nature Ice Shard off with hail damage. None of my other kind of passive things would have given me that, and they would have just kind of been taken advantage of by a lot of other things. So for that reason, I did choose a Bombstow in the last slot, but let's just get into the game. So I lead off with Crocodile because, like I said, it kills everything. It matched up really nicely versus a Suicide lead Lycanroc, which is what we see. It also catches the OHKO on that Greninja if he did want to lead with the Greninja, which he does not. If he leads off a Scizor, we do have answers into that because Rocks wouldn't have been up, Entei would be a decent switch into it. So yeah, this is nice. We get the kill off very early in the game. We are Moxie, which is kind of nice because it basically forces him into Scizor. That's the only thing that can live realistically speaking, that's the only thing that can kind of live a +1 attack Earthquake. So we do go into the Manaphy right here. I don't want to go into anything else as he goes into the Gardevoir. Taking the damage on this isn't really too critical. We can still take a hit from the Greninja, and we are going to pull the switch out here into the Klefki. Now, interesting stuff right here because, I mean, I understand how Prankster works against Dark types, but when I looked at his team, I was thinking Dark types as Muck. That was the only Dark type I considered. For some reason, Incineroar just doesn't strike me as a Dark type. I look at it more as like a Fire type. Like, if you ask me what's Incineroar, I would tell you it's a physical Fire type. That's how I would describe Incineroar. It's a physical Fire type. Maybe I'd say with Intimidate. It's an Intimidator. It's a bulky Fire type. That's basically what it is. It's much more like a Pokemon like Arcanine, it's much more like a Pokemon like Entei than it is a Pokemon like Crocodile, which is kind of in the UU tier, which is kind of what I'm talking about, the interactions with Klefki. Crocodile is much more of a Dark type in the sense that, you know, it's an actual Dark type. You see Crocodile and you do understand that it's going to be blocking that Defog, but yeah, in the team building phase, I didn't even think about Incineroar blocking Defog. I thought a Muck was going to block the Defog. I knew that, and I just didn't think about Incineroar blocking the Defog. Obviously, Greninja blocks it as well, but I feel like Greninja's kind of in the same boat. I look at it more as like a just kind of a jack of all traits in terms of the attacks it's throwing out. It's more of kind of an offensive water type to me. But the Greninja is a little bit less forgivable for me not remembering it was a Dark type. But anyways, all that being said, I am actually Prankster, not Magician. And if I was Magician, I would be able to get this Defog off right now, but I'm not. I'm not even Spikes either because I want to prioritize the Defog. So really bad for me because the team prep is going to really fuck me over because we don't have a way to get rid of the rocks, and he's leftovers Incineroar, which means that this play rough, I wanted to play rough on the potential Assault Vest Muck because chip damage would have stayed, but getting the damage off onto Incineroar means nothing because he gets it all back with leftovers anyways. Pivot out into Manaphy. I actually, if I would have stayed in with Klefki, I would have actually gone for Defog. So that thank goodness. Like, I assumed he was going to go for the U-turn. I assumed he would, but I didn't really want to risk staying in the fire move. So fun, yeah. It's just really funny because if I did want to call his U-turn play, I would have actually fucked up even more by going for the Defog on the fire type, on the Dark type. So funny stuff there. He brings the Gardevoir right back in. I am just going to go into the Klefki right here again, and he's going to kind of go out into the Incineroar. It's interesting stuff because basically whenever I get Crocodile in versus, like, his stuff like his Incineroar is a little bit of a liability because it brings me into Crocodile, and Crocodile only takes 6% obviously for rocks being the resisted hit, so He's not really wearing me away with Stealth Rocks, not really wearing my Crocodile away with Stealth Rocks, which is really, really nice. So like I said, this is a little bit of a liability because now I get to bring in Crocodile, and now I actually get to get another kill, which is fantastic. There's nothing he can go into that gets kill. He's going to sack Muck because it's a little bit of a redundancy with the Incineroar. I would say it's a little bit of a redundancy. And again, he's forced back into Scizor being the only Pokemon that can actually really comfortably, I suppose, not really comfortably, but comfortably enough live that Earthquake. So obviously I'm not going to attack that Pokemon now. This is really interesting right here. He goes for the Hydro Pump, and I miss the Play Rough. And that's obviously huge. That's obviously really, really huge. But my boy Carson, proving that Chivalry isn't dead. He actually talks to me in the chat and tells me he's going to go to Gunk Shot so that I can hit this Play Rough. So yeah, Chivalry is not dead. This man is actually fantastic. So, takes me out with HP Fire. No way I'm switching around on anything, and I can go into Entei right here. I don't want to risk something like Water Shuriken onto the Crocodile when I have Extreme Speed. There's no reason to do that. A Bomb Snow, while it's still technically a sack, I don't really want to go into that because, here's the thing. Like I've said before, that a Bomb Snow is technically a sack, but I don't actually want to get Hail Up because, like I said, Crocodile is the Pokemon that completely wins this game on its own. No skill required to win. So, obviously, I don't want to be... The Hail working against Crocodile is going to be way more important than the Hail working against him, even though the Hail chips away at stuff like Scizor and Gardevoir who can't get O-Code from full. It puts me a little bit, it's like one step closer to putting me in range of Bullet Punch or Crit Bullet Punch, which is obviously something that I don't want. Now, I missed Stone Edge right here, which is pretty unfortunate, but hey, you know what? He went for Gunk Shot on my Klefki, so you know what? Whatever. I hit the next two Stone Edges, I guess, which is kind of alright, and it's just annoying because that obviously puts me in range of the Bullet Punch, whereas I could have, I mean, it doesn't really matter, honestly. It really doesn't really matter. So we Stone Edge right there, take him out. He goes into Scizor. Obviously, he's not going to go for any move other than Bullet Punch. There's no way in hell he is not going to do that. So I'm going to Extreme Speed to see what item he is, see what investment he is. I can run this into the calc and see what he is. And we do see leftovers. We see is a little bit more bulky, I guess, which is really cool. Now we bring on the Latios, and Latios is actually pretty cool right here because I can fire off HP Fire into Tectonic Rage. I do have Steel Wing, but Tectonic Rage does more than Steel Wing, so we can fire it off and we take out the Gardevoir, which is fantastic. Now the thing about that is it's not really like insanely. Even if we didn't get the kill on that, it's not really too crazy because we do have Fire Fang on Crocodile, which is going to be nice for the Scizor anyways. But yeah, we are able to take out the Gardevoir right here, force him into the Scizor. Obviously, this is his last Pokemon, and we're able to fire off the HP Fire. We're not actually invested. We're not actually like special attack invested into the Latios. We're max attack with Naive or something like that. But anyways, either way, the point is it takes away enough health that obviously we can take him out with the Earthquake, which is really nice. Obviously, if the Gardevoir didn't get the kill on, if I didn't get the kill on the Gardevoir with my if I didn't get the kill on Gardevoir with Latios, it would be in range of Ice Shard. I could go into a Bomb Snow and kill the Gardevoir with the Ice Shard, and then when he went into Scizor after, I would be able to Ice Shard with onto the Scizor. He couldn't kill me with Bullet Punch, even after Rocks, because a Bomb Snow is a fat boy, and we saw he's no item. So we could Ice Shard the Scizor, and then we do have, obviously, the Hail up as well. So we would be able to kind of follow up with the Fire Fang. So, fun game right there. Actually, no, what am I saying? It wouldn't even matter because if we didn't kill the Gardevoir, I would have went straight into Crocodile and gone for the Scarf Fire Fang and gotten the Moxie boost. I forgot about that. But yeah, obviously, if I was in game, I would have went for Fire Fang with Crocodile, got the Moxie boost on the Gardevoir, and then obviously with the +1 be able to OHKO Scizor with the +1 Scarf Fire Fang. So, good stuff right there. Gonna finish the game out right there. We brought a Bomb Snow this game to be sack fodder, and we ended up actually not even going into it as a sack. We ended up sacking Manaphy instead of a Bomb Snow. So kind of funny stuff right there. I guess it just goes to show that Hail sometimes is a little bit of a liability for yourself. But yeah, Crocodile comes out of this game just as dominant as we expected it to be going into this game. But yeah, that's going to be everything, and I'll see you guys back for week 6, I guess.